Hey everybody, hope and pray that you're doing well. Today as we come to our word from the word. And today that word is still. Still. Now by that I don't mean that like we're still doing something like a continuation, but rather being still, not moving, moving very little. Right? This would be those times that maybe when we were kids in church and you wanted to squirm and move and everything else, and you get that look from mama or daddy, and you need to straighten up and sit still. Usually, what happens? Why is it that we get to moving around a lot when we're supposed to be still? It's because we become impatient. Because most of the time, when we're sitting still, we're waiting for something or someone. Now, I mean, I know a lot of times us men folk, right? We'll laugh and say that we're waiting on a woman, right? You may be sitting idly by waiting on our wives to be ready to leave. And we may be sitting and maybe getting a little anxious. Now, let's be honest, men. There's plenty of times I'm sure they're waiting on us to finish watching the ball game or just one more play or just this or that. And so it goes both ways. But you think about with the Lord, that he is patient with us, but how often are we patient with him? He's so oftentimes, I look for how long he waited for you to turn your life around and turn towards him with your life. But he patiently waited. Look at how long he has been patient with this world today. Look at the patience that he shows you and I. I can just even use myself, the patience he shows me on a daily basis. But yet how often we want to rush him along and we don't want to wait for him. So today with that word still, I want us to look at Psalm 62 and just the first two verses. And David says this, he says, truly my soul silently waits for God. From him comes my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. Just even that last statement that I'm not going to be moved. I'm going to stay where I'm at. And I believe the Christian Standard Version, it says, I will not be shaken. Isn't that what happens, right, when we're waiting? The longer it goes on, the longer that we're waiting on the Lord to do something, the more anxious we become. And the more we do begin to kind of shake a little bit from the inside out. He says, be still. I'm reminded from the psalmist as well, be still and know that I am God. See, it doesn't take a lot of faith to move around anxiously. It doesn't take a lot of faith to go ahead and be working and to doing and trying to accomplish it in our own power. It takes a lot of faith to sit still, silently waiting on the Lord. That's what he says. He says, my soul is silently waiting on the Lord. Now there, I do believe that the silently part is maybe the parts where we would be saying, how much longer is it going to be? Really, is this really what you're going to make me do? Right? It's not just the sitting silently. See, we can praise him while we're waiting. That's not silently. But see, I think it's the bickering and complaining that we need to silence while we're waiting. I think ultimately we just need to make sure that we're being still. You think about what it means to be still in the Lord, to rest in the Lord, to relax in him, to let our anxieties go away, to cast all of our cares and our burdens upon him because he cares for us. And when we do that, we can be still. I think a great example, great image of this is when you think about a little baby that's crying and needs something, right? It can't do anything for itself, it just cries out to a parent. And what will that parent do? You go and you pick them up and you carry them and you hold them tight. And then the crying stops. The need is met. Even just to know that someone's still there, know that they're not all alone. And then they become still and they rest in the arms of their parent. And that's the same thing you and I, that's what God is calling for us to do. Is He's saying, look, I've heard you cry out. Now I'm telling you, I'm holding on to you. Now just be still and wait. It's a beautiful image. But I wonder today, are we willing to be still? God bless you. And I pray you have a great, great day.